Okay. Uh, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good afternoon. I'm Dr. Musal Nizan binti Mustalka, public health physician in Alcohol and Substance Abuse Unit, Disease Control Division in Ministry of Health. So everybody can hear me, right? Today I would like to talk about substance abuse and mental health. Okay. Perhaps everybody knows that I'm going to use English and maybe mix up with some Bahasa Melayu as well. So if anybody got any question or anything, just or cannot hear me very well, just leave on the comments, okay? Okay. As introduction, what do we mean by the substance abuse? Okay, substance abuse refers to the harmful or hazardous use of psychoactive substances, including alcohol and illicit drugs. Okay, generally, drug abuse is considered as one of the fundamental problems of humans' life. It is nearly 1 century that communities have been thinking about the solution of this problem widely and in a determined way. Due to spread diseases like human immunodeficiency viruses, HIV, and hepatitis through the injection, and also because of worries about harmful medical, social, legal, and health effects, drug abuse has been posed as a significant policy issue all over the world. One of the policies used many years in the world to solve drug abuse problem is War on Drug, acronym WOD. United Nations has globalized WOD in 1991 until 2000. Okay, what is War on Drug? Okay, WOD, the acronym. This is the movement culminated in United Nations General Assembly Special Session, acronym UNGAS, in 1998 that United Nations committed itself to a drug-free world by 2008. Based on this policy, strict programs and action such as imprisonment and death penalty were considered for buying, selling, and using drugs in the countries. Many studies in the world were conducted about the result of this policy. The results show that despite the expectations, strict approach did not have positive result about the abuse and relapse reduction, and they also created some other problem. Because the infectious diseases like HIV significantly increased with those who injected drug. Therefore, all this evidence result in highlighting another policy in drug abuse domain called harm reduction. Okay, what is the harm reduction? It is a concept of intervention aiming at health behavior, negative effects, reduction without necessity to put out the problematic health behavior completely or constantly. It is emphasized to put a problematic health behavior, it is emphasized the negative consequences rather than drug use as the aim of intervention. This program include needle and shrink program (NSP), supervised injection facility (SIF), overdose prevention policies and opioid substitution treatment (OST). Okay, harm reduction is It is an approach stand in opposition to the traditional medical model of addiction, which consider drug use as a mistake and as a result of illegal. This policy also has some critics who believe this method actually encourage people to use more drugs, while the result of systematic studies show that such methods are cost effective to prevent spread of HIV and also increase people access to medical and social services. Okay, how about Malaysia? Malaysia actually from the study of until the late 1990s, treatment of drug addiction in Malaysia was mainly through the enforcement of rehabilitation in detention centres. Okay. However, the success of these programs remained controversial due to the high post-detention relapse rate. Treatment of opioids dependence with substitution therapy was started in 2001 with buprenorphine, and subsequently methadone replacement therapy was introduced in 2005. The methadone replacement therapy has been expanded and upscaled yearly to cover almost all healthcare centres throughout Malaysia by 2015. Okay. Uh, okay. So now we talk about what is drugs and it's a little bit about alcohol, because actually the addiction to drugs and alcohol. Do you know that addiction to drugs or alcohol is a mental illness? Okay, because this is why, because substance use disorder changes normal desire and priorities. It changes normal behavior and interfere with ability to go to work, go to school, and to have a good relationships with friends and family. A study in United States in 2014 showed that 20.2 million adults in the United States had a substance use disorder, and about 7.5 million of those had both. They got two, substance use disorder and another mental illness. So more than half of the people that have this both substance use disorder and another mental illness were men. They are men, okay? Having two illnesses at the same time known as a comorbidity, and it can make treating each disorder more difficult because they have two diseases at the same time. Okay, another things that we have to bear in mind, actually tobacco is another substance associated with addiction and health risks. Tobacco can be smoked, chewed, or even sniffed. However, the most common way people consume tobacco is by smoking cigarettes. Research has shown that adults with a mental illness are more likely to smoke cigarettes than other adults. This is particularly true among people with major depression and those diagnosed with schizophrenia. It is estimated that people with psychiatric disorders purchase approximately 44% of all cigarettes sold in the United States. Smoking is believed to be one reason that individuals with mental illness have more physical health problems and die younger than people without a mental illness. Okay, maybe people will ask, when does drug use become drug abuse or addiction? Okay, people from all over, they have this kind of life that can experience problem with their drug use, regardless of their age, race, background, or the reason they started using drugs in the first place. Some people experiment with recreational drugs out of curiosity. Some of them may have to have a good time, and some of them may be because of friends are doing it, or some of them maybe think it can help to ease problems such as stress, anxiety, or depression. However, bear in mind, it's not only just illegal drugs such as cocaine or heroin that can lead to abuse and addiction. Prescription medication such as painkillers, sleeping pills, and tranquilizer can cause the similar problems. Okay? In fact, after marijuana, next to marijuana, prescription painkillers are the most abused drugs in the United States, and more people die from overdosing powerful opioid painkillers each day than from traffic accident and gun deaths combined. Okay, in addition to opioid painkiller, can be so powerful that it has become the major risk factor for heroin abuse. That means people who addict to opioid killer can become to the heroin abuse later. And of course, either drug use, either illegal or prescription, doesn't automatically lead to abuse. It doesn't matter whether, but both of them can, if people use it more frequently, then it becomes the abuse. Some people are able to use recreational or prescription drugs without experiencing negative effects, while others find that substance use takes a serious toll on their health and well-being. Okay, similarly, there is no specific point at which drug use moves from the casual to problematic. Drug abuse and addiction is less about the type or amount of the substance consumed or the frequency of the drug use, and more about the consequences of the drug use. If the drug use causing problem in life, such as at work, school, home, or in relationship, then the person likely to have drug abuse or addiction problem. Okay, what are the risk factors for the drug addiction? Maybe people will think that, oh, why this kind of people might have more thing of drug abuse, or some people might not have it, because some people can develop any problems from using drug because they have this vulnerability to the substance addiction differ from person to person. While some genes, mental health problem, family, and social environment play a role, risk factors that may increase the vulnerability include they have a family history of addiction, those who experience abuse, being neglected, or other traumatic experiences, those who, the third category might have the mental disorders such as depression and anxiety, and maybe they have early use of drug, and the last one, they may have a method of administration. Smoking or injecting a drug may increase its addictive potential. Okay, a little bit about myth and facts about the drug abuse and addiction, because some people may think that there is a myth that overcoming addiction is simply a matter of willpower. You can stop using drug if you really want, but the fact is the prolonged exposure to drugs alter the brain in ways that result in powerful craving and a compulsion to use. These brain changes make it extremely difficult to quit by sheer force of will. Okay, some people might say the using drugs like opioid painkillers are safe since they are so commonly prescribed by doctor. But the fact is, short-term medical use of opioid painkiller can help to manage severe pain, especially after accident or surgery, for example. However, regular or longer-term use of opioids can lead to addiction. Misuse of this drug or taking someone else's medication can have dangerous, even deadly consequences. Okay, some people might say, oh, addiction is a disease. There's nothing can be done about it. But the fact, most experts agree that addiction is a disease that affects the brain, but that doesn't mean leave anyone is helpless. The brain changes associated with addiction can be treated or reversed through therapy, medication, exercise, and other treatment. Some people may say that people say that addicts have to hit the rock bottom before they can get better. But the fact, recovery can begin at the point in addiction process, and the earlier, the better. The longer drug abuse continue, the stronger the addiction becomes and the harder it is to treat. So do not wait to intervene until the addict has lost everything. Okay, some people might say that You cannot force someone into treatment. They must have to help to want the help. Actually, treatment not necessarily have to be voluntary to be successful. People who are pressured into treatment by their family, employer, or the legal system are just as likely to benefit as those who chose to enter treatment on their own. As they sober up and their thinking clears, many formerly resistant addicts decide that they want to change. Okay, the last myth about that I'm going to share is some people might say, oh, treatment didn't work before, so there's no point trying again. But the fact, we have to know, recovery from drug addiction is a long process that often involves setbacks. Relapse doesn't mean that treatment has failed or that sobriety is a lost cause. Rather, it's a signal to get back on track, either by going back to treatment or adjusting the treatment approach. Okay. Okay. Let's take a little bit about drug addiction and the brain. Okay, while we know that each drug produces different physical effects, all abuse substances share one thing in common. Repeated use can alter the way the brain functions. Okay, this includes commonly abused prescription medication as well as recreational drugs. Okay, taking drug causes a rush in the hormone dopamine in the brain, which triggers feeling of pressure. The brain remembers this feeling and wants them repeated. When a person becomes addicted, the substances take the same significance as other survival behaviors such as eating and drinking. Okay, so when there is a changes in the brain, they might interfere the ability to think clearly. They might interfere with the exercise of the good judgment, the ability to control the good behavior, and the feel normal without the drugs. Okay, no matter which drug a person addicted to, whether it's illicit or prescribed one, the uncontrollable craving to use grows more important than anything else, including family, friends, career, and even their own health and happiness. The urge to use is so strong that the minds find many ways to deny or rationalize the addiction. A person may drastically underestimate the quantity of drugs as they are taking, how much it impacts their life, and the level of control they have over the drug use. Okay, now we're talking a little bit about the signs and symptoms of drug abuse and also the addiction. Okay, there are actually some of the common signs and symptoms for the drug abuse. The first one, they might have neglect their responsibility at school, work, or home. Okay, like they may be skipping work, neglecting their children, they escape from their classes. Okay, and the second one, they may be using drugs under dangerous condition or taking risks while high, such as driving while on drug, using dirty needles, or having unprotected sex. Okay, the another one, they might have experiencing legal trouble, which they are being arrested for disorderly conduct, driving under the influence, or stealing to support their drug habit. And also they have problems in their relationship, which fight with their partner, family member, or fight with their unhappy boss and lose their friends. And those who are the symptom towards the addiction, where they have this build up drug tolerance, they feel the need to use more. Okay, and as and this then followed by they feel the use to avoid or relieve the withdrawal symptom. The need to take it more because they don't want to experience the withdrawal symptom. And also they have loss of control over the drug use. They think of, they want to keep on using it more and over, even though they think that it hurt them, but they still want to use it. They don't want to stop it. Okay, and their life revolves around the drug use. They spend a lot of time using and thinking about the drugs, figuring how to get them or recovering from drug effects. Okay, they might show that they abandon activities they used to enjoy, such as their hobbies, sports, socializing, because of the drug use. And they continue to use drugs despite knowing it is hurting themselves. Okay, sometimes they know when they're using the drug, they might experience blackout, financial issue, infection, mood swing. Okay. So, okay. Okay. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about understanding what the link between substance abuse and mental health. When someone have both a substance abuse problem and a mental health issue such as depression, bipolar disorder, or anxiety, it is called a co-occurring disorder or dual diagnosis. Okay, dealing with the substance abuse, alcoholism, or drug addiction is never easy, and to top up on it is more difficult when person also struggling with mental health problems. In co-occurring disorder, both mental health issue and drug or alcohol addiction have their own unique symptoms that may get in the way their ability to function at work or school. They have difficulty to maintain a stable home life, handle life difficulties, and to relate with others. Okay, to make the situation more complicated, the co-occurring disorder also affect each other. When a mental health problem goes untreated, the substance abuse problems usually get worse. And when alcohol or drug abuse increases, mental health problems usually increase too. So co-occurring substance abuse problems and mental health issues are more common than many people realize. Okay, some people will ask, what comes first? Substance abuse or mental health problem? Okay, substance abuse and mental health disorders such as depression and anxiety are closely linked. While some substance abuse can cause prolonged psychotic reaction, but one does not directly cause the other. Okay, because some people may use the drug as to self-medicate their symptoms of mental and health problem. For example, people often use drugs to ease their symptom of undiagnosed mental disorder, whereby they use it to cope with their difficult emotions or to temporarily change their mood. Unfortunately, when they are abusing the substance, it causes side effect, and in the long run, often it worsens the symptom they initially help to relieve. Okay, some more drug abuse can increase the underlying risk for the mental disorder. Okay, because if someone has risk for the mental disorder, abusing the illegal, even the prescription drug, may push over the age. That means people who got the risk of the mental health, if they add on with the using this illegal, it can make it more severe to them. Okay, for example, that certain abuser of marijuana have an increase of psychosis, while those abuse opioid painkiller are greater risk of for the depression. Okay, and also this drug abuse can make symptom of mental health problem worse. Okay, substance abuse may sharply increase symptom of mental illness, even trigger the new symptom. Abuse of drugs can also interact with medications such as depressant, anti-anxiety pills, mood stabilizer, and making them less effective at managing symptoms. Okay, how to diagnose? Okay, sometimes people will think, oh, when people having this dual diagnosis, how you want to say really whether they're mental illnesses or because of the substance abuse. Okay, as we know, substance abuse is a is as a diagnosis as a mental illnesses as well. Okay. Okay. The diagnosis of treatment of comorbid substance use disorders and mental illnesses are complex because it is often difficult to disentangle overlapping symptoms. Patients who have both a drug use disorder and another mental illnesses often exhibit symptoms that are more persistent, severe, and resistant to treatment compared to the patient who have only one disorder alone, whether got the substance only without the mental illness or only the mental illness without the substance. Okay, so whoever patients entering treatment for psychiatric illnesses, they should be screened for substance use disorder as well, vice versa. I mean, those who enter for the substance use disorder, we should screen for the psychiatric illness as well. Okay, To get the accurate diagnosis is complicated because of the similarities between the drug-related symptoms, where they might have the withdrawal and those of potentially comorbid mental disorder. So it may necessary to observe them after a period of abstinence to distinguish between the effects of substance intoxication or withdrawal and the symptom of comorbid mental disorder. Okay. After we talk about the diagnosis is quite tricky one, but a little bit about the treatment. Treatment for mental health problems may include medication for the mental health problem, okay? May have the medication. It can be individual or group counseling. It can be the lifestyle changes and also the peer support. Meanwhile, treatment for the substance abuse include detoxification. We have to manage their withdrawal symptom. We can have this behavioral therapy and support groups to help maintain their sobriety. So the most important thing, integrated treatment for both comorbid drug use disorder and mental illness has to be found consistently superior. It's superior compared to this if we separate the treatment of each diagnosis. Okay, integrated treatment of co-occurring disorder often involves using cognitive behavioral therapy strategies to boost interpersonal and coping skills and using approaches that support motivation and functional recovery. Okay, treatment for this comorbidity, which is dual diagnosis, also must involve collaboration between the clinical providers and organizations that provide supportive services that to address issues such as actually homelessness, physical health, vocational skill, and also the legal problems. So actually, it is critical to have a good communication between the supporting services. Okay, strategies to facilitate this one include effective communication, include the co-location, shared treatment plans and record, and case review meetings. Support and incentive for collaboration may be needed, as well education for the staff on co-occurring substance use and mental health disorder. Okay, actually there are type of pharmacotherapies to treat this alcohol, nicotine and opioid disorder, which is mainly buprenorphine, methadone, naltrexone, and for the nicotine, they use this nicotine replacement therapy and varenicline. Okay, there are several types for the behavioral therapies to help because together with the pharmacotherapy, we need to add on the combination of the behavioral therapy to make sure that it's successful long-term outcome for those individuals with drug disorder or other mental illnesses. There are several types like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. CBT is designed to modify the harmful belief and maladaptive behavior. Okay, and also there is having this motivational incentive is used as adjunct to the treatment. And dialectical behavioral therapy is designed untuk reduce the self-harm behavior. And also we have the assertive community treatment is the program that integrated behavioral treatment for severe mental illnesses such as schizophrenia and co-occurring substance disorder. We also have therapeutic communities, which are a common form of a long-term residential treatment for substance use disorder. We also have, we can use also the integrated group therapy, exposure therapy as well. Okay, as a conclusion that I want to say to our people up there is always hope. Okay, either for those who are having the mental mood disorder and alcohol or drug abuse, which is they are treatable condition. Okay, it is important for those who were on treatment to get and stay sober during the treatment. That means they know what they are doing and understand the situation, the problem that they have. Therefore, if the doctor prescribe the medication for mental health problem, mixing it with alcohol or drugs could have serious effects. Okay, bear in mind, relapses are part of the recovery process. Don't get discouraged if relapse. Sleep and setbacks happen, but have to work hard, and most people can recover from their relapses and move on with recovery. The last important thing, peer support can help. It may benefit by joining a self-help support group such as uh, Alcoholic Anonymous, Narcotic Anonymous, okay? Because this support group give a person a chance to lean on others who know exactly what others going through and learn from their experience. Okay, that's conclusion, and thank you. If any other question, can write on the comment. Okay, I okay. I end this session. Thank you so much for those listening. Hope you can benefit for what I have shared for today, and it help people outside there to get help whenever they feel, or if you think that it is good. I mean, you have this kind of problem, do not afraid to come to our health facility to get help for the problem, especially for those who are having this substance use disorder, and also those who are having this having the mental health problem. Okay, thank you.